We want to talk a little bit about a project that's really exciting, Impact Essex County. And before we do that, I'd like to just talk a little bit, because some people don't really know what a community foundation is. I was just talking to Paul. There are 770 community foundations across the country managing billions of dollars of assets and making grants back to their local community. Last year we granted over $4 million, and since our inception we've granted to local and regional nonprofits over $30 million in grants. We manage 171 different charitable funds that have been set up by local people who care passionately about the place that they live. And we currently have assets totaling just about $38 million. And our new strategic plan, we'd like to reach $100 million by the year 2020 so that we could make even more grants back to the local nonprofit community. So what is Impact Essex County? This is ECCF's community leadership project that we will be working on for the next 3 to 5 years. It's a 3-phase, multi-year collaborative initiative designed really to identify and move the needle on some of the key challenges that are facing this county. The first phase is assessing the state of Essex County, and Julie's going to talk more about our Community Indicators project that we're launching. After we gather this data, a comprehensive set of data that's going to really look at a lot of the quality of life features in Essex County, we want to identify what the needs are and figure out where to go next in this project. And we've formed a community advisory council that's going to help us look at the data and then identify the needs. And then we want to move the needle on what some of the key issues. And the most exciting and I think challenging part of this project is our board's committed, once we identify what the needs are, to raise $10 million to help address the critical issues that face the county. And we hope to have some really interesting results.
As a grant maker, I'm continually frustrated by the lack of data. We have wonderful projects, as one of my fellow funders said. We fund things that come over the bow of the boat, but we never know, are those the key things that we should be funding? So we fund hunger projects, we fund summer programs, we fund after-school programs, but what is really what's going to move the needle and really make a difference in our communities? I use the example of our hunger project in 2009 when we were faced with the recession. The food pantries across the county were wonderful. We worked with the networks. We created a website for them. We've helped them with their annual food drive, with the U.S. Letter Carriers Food Drive. We've provided grants to them. But at the end of the day, I always ask myself, is hunger really what we should have been addressing? Is hunger just a symptom of a bigger problem? And we didn't have the data to really know. Is it really that people can't afford their rents around here, that affordable housing is a problem in Essex County, and because people are spending so much of their money on housing, they don't have money left over, so they have to turn to food pantries to get free food? Or is it education problems? Is it unemployment? We didn't have the data to really look at it. The other thing that's challenging about Essex County, as Dave kind of referred to, we have such a variety. We have great wealth, we have cities, we have 10 cities, some of them with some real poverty issues facing them. We have immigration as well in some of those cities that we need to address through education and job training and those kinds of programs. So all of that led us to really want to look at some data across the county. And this project, we're hoping to answer the questions of what are the key challenges, issues, and trends that are affecting Essex County? How do we compare to other counties across the state? How do we compare to the state average, national averages? And other counties, we're going to try and find some other counties that look like Essex County somewhere in the country, whether it's a county outside of Chicago or San Francisco or Washington or some major city that has some of our characteristics. And how do we look against those counties? And at the end of the day, with this data that we collect, which will be measurable data, we can look at it every couple years and see, are we making any difference in these projects that we try and tackle? We'll be collecting 75 to 100 different indicators. And again, coming up with an interactive website. We're going to divide the county up somewhat, and we're still talking about how it's going to look. At this point, we're thinking we're going to segregate data out for Lynn, Lawrence, and North Shore, Cape Ann, and the Merrimack Valley, so we can kind of compare the different parts of the county, because as we all know, every section of this county is a little bit different. Around 20 people from across the county, leaders in education and health, in arts and culture, in business, people that are running agencies that deal with poverty issues. So our Community Advisory Committee will help us decide which areas that we're going to look at that we think are the most important. Is it education? Is it health? Is it public safety? What are the broad areas we want to look at? Then we're going to gather small groups of experts around each of those topics that will work with the firm that we've contracted with to pick the actual data points that we're going to be looking at. These are going to be measurable data that are available statewide and nationally, so that we're going to be able to compare them to other parts of the country, and also be able to continue to go back and see the trends over time. We did a lot of work also this summer to interview various firms that are involved in this kind of business, that can do the research, that can do the data collection, that understand the indicators that provide the best results. And we've contracted with a firm out of Rochester, New York, called the Center for Government Research. And they're a nonprofit. They've been around for 100 years. And they have done, I think, about 8 of these projects across the country. Our anticipated timeline is that the website will be finished up sometime this summer, and we'll have a public launch in September that the community will be invited to attend to see the website. And at that point, once the data is here, our CGR will come back and they'll help us bring our Community Advisory Committee together and our board and really look at, what does this data now tell us? They'll do a regional overview to look at what the trends are again, and what they see is what some of this data is telling us. And then we'll bring in other funders, we'll bring in our nonprofits, we'll bring in some of our government leaders to look at what are some of these key issues that are going to be affecting us. And then how do we begin to convene around those? So then we come to phase 3, which is how are we going to move the needle on all of this? And I think Dave was going to talk a bit about our plans to raise some financial support to get behind some of these projects.
The nonprofit community, quite frankly, can be very idealistic and think that they alone can solve all of the societal problems facing this county. And the reality is, studies have shown it's really when you bring business leaders, government leaders, and the nonprofit sector together at the table, agree on what the measures are, and that way you can make a collective impact and really do make some significant societal change. Our role at the Community Foundation will be the convener. We want to bring these groups together, and we want to be the funder. We want to have access to up to $10 million to be able to address whatever those key issues are. The wealth is here to address it. It's just mobilizing and convening the people and convincing them that we can work together to make a significant impact in this county. That's perhaps why we call it Impact Essex County. How can you help? Share your ideas. Visit the website when it's up in September. Use the data. Connect us with funders and other people partners that might be interested in working with us on this. Attend community meetings and, quite frankly, support the project. Thanks to the generosity of a number of private foundations, our board, we've been able to raise over $120,000 towards this first phase of the project. We still need some more funding, but the board's confident that we'll get that. So I hope you can tell that we're really excited about this. We think it'll be something that a lot of people, we've talked to nonprofits, they're excited about having access to the data. It'll help them write grants. We're really trying, our goal is to keep as many charitable dollars in Essex County as possible. And I talked to one donor specifically, she said, if you have more data for me, I can be a better grant maker individually. So, well, thank you. Thank you very much for having us. We appreciate Keep Ann TV for